Hey guys, I did it! I finished Cuphead! Sheesh, I learned one trick in After Effects and I use it in every video. So yes, the platforming run-and-gun boss rush game which uses visuals similar to 1930s cartoons. You know when you say all of that out loud. Ah, but as you may also know, this game is extremely difficult. In fact, many people have been calling this game the Dark Souls of games, I guess, I don't know. But here's how my journey of this game went. Ah, I get it. It's all about timing and memorization. Not too bad. Oh. That's how this game's gonna be, is it? I cannot get this timing down. I just cannot. Damn it. Stop laughing at me. Then get me 6 crap-shooting pallbearers. Huh. That was actually easier than I expected. Okay, now that it's all over, let's talk about the game. So Cuphead and his brother Mugman started shooting craps in the Devil's Casino on the wrong side of the tracks. Thanks to Cuphead's greed, they ended up in debt to the devil. See, what they should have done is challenge him to a fiddling contest. Or guitar, whatever. So, in order to save their heads, they must collect the soul contracts of the various residents of Inkwell Islands. Of course, they're not going to give them up without a fight, and oh boy do they. You will fight leaping blobs, leaping frogs, leaping clouds, leaping actresses, leaping flames, and leaping eyeballs. Why is everything in this game leaping? The boss fights all have multiple phases with differing attacks, and for bonus fun, there's an extra phase if you fight the bosses on the regular difficulty. In fact, defeating the bosses on regular difficulty is the only way to get to the final fight and finish the game. Which is probably why the achievement for finishing the game has a 6% on Xbox Live and a 12% on Steam. To break up the monotony of this game just being a boss rush, there are run-and-gun stages thrown in as well. These Contra-esque stages have you going to the right, shooting enemies, and collecting coins which can be used to buy different attacks and charms. These upgrades are absolutely vital to finishing the game, so if you ever want to beat King Dice, it's back to the farming. It's hard, but honest work. These stages utilize many tropes of the difficult platformers from the past. And yes, I do mean that in the worst way. We're talking never-ending respawning enemies, platforms that drop out from under you, being chased while platforming, and attacks that push you into projectiles. Yeah, this game is evil. But on the bright side, you do get this wonderfully jazzy soundtrack to keep you company, so that's nice. Speaking of which, the OST in this game is marvelous. From the opening song, to King Dice's baritone mockery, to even a barbershop quartet suggesting you take a break. I'll tell you when I've had enough. But of course, the visuals in this game really steal the show. Largely inspired by animations of the early 1930s, especially ones from Fleischer Studios, the rubbery, surreal, and absurdist design is absolutely incredible. For bonus points, all of the animation in this game was done by hand, meaning each frame was painstakingly animated. That's 24 frames per second. That's 1,440 frames per minute. By hand. Throughout the entire game, you'll be able to spot many shoutouts and throwbacks to classic cartoons, and even some more modern ones. In fact, there were honestly some instances where I was dying to the bosses purely because I kept getting distracted by all of the incredible animation going on in the background. Now, I've already noted that this game is difficult, and well, it is. But you've probably seen people all over the internet comparing this game to Dark Souls. It's the Dark Souls of platformers. It's the Dark Souls of indie games. Dark Souls was hard. Dark Souls 1 was poorly designed, etc. But you know what? In a strange way, this game sort of is like Dark Souls. The Dark Souls games all have bosses that telegraph their attacks in one way or another, and once you get their attack patterns down, you'll have much less trouble defeating them. In the meantime, however, enjoy dying multiple times in the process. Sink till you swim. Well, Cuphead's bosses function much in the same manner. In fact, in some cases it's even more difficult as you don't get those rolling iframes unless you happen to have a certain charm equipped. So, despite this game's incredible learning curve and difficulty, I would recommend giving Cuphead a shot. No, don't, he's probably underage. But as for me, I'm gonna try and S-rank as many bosses as I can. And if anyone should ask you, tell them I got those St James Infirmary blues.